What's cracking, traders? XehrFelrose here, bringing you some Pokemon GO Battle League content. In today's video, we're going to take a look at the team that I crafted on PVPoke that's got a stellar, unbeatable, surely, quadruple A rating over on PVPoke.com. I was using the team builder there. I was trying to craft up a team, and I had started with Steelix. This Pokemon I felt like was going to be a good core breaker for what we were expecting to see. Thunderfang applies a ton of pressure into the waters. You're going to have the Corviknights, the Scizors, things that I was expecting to see, right? So we're going to go further into the team here. I was going to pick Corviknight, and I was actually looking to pick Gastrodon as well. Yes, fire, no good. There's some things that this team will lose to, but in theory, this team should be good against the core meta that I was, again, expecting to see. The top meta picks that everybody was hyping up. So let's get into the games and see what happens. We went into a Jellicent lead in this first game here, and we're going to be looking to apply these Thunderfangs and look to go for debuffs wherever possible. I'm going to go ahead and let this first move go because I know that I can live the Surf. I had a thought, maybe Shield. That might be the play, because if you shield one, I think based on how much damage I just took, there's a slight chance, if the IVs are right, that I may have been able to live a second move. But opponent going to go ahead and go for the next move, and I'm just going to try to get rid of this thing. I don't necessarily need to win this matchup, but for me, it was more so about being able to win, switch advantage in the lead, and use my Corviknight Gastrodon core that I've got sitting in the back to try and get favorable alignment. Now, yes, some of you who know me well, looking at you, Jamie Finn, because you and I talked about this. Specifically, trainer. Also, shout out to Jamie Finn, the Shadow Specialist Extraordinaire. Love him. Don't play RPS teams, and you'll do better. Play more energy management-based teams, and you'll definitely do better. This is an alignment team. This was a team that I crafted specifically to try and combat the meta that I was expecting, right? And I know I've said it like 5 times, so you're probably like, dude, shut up. Ironhead's going to get a shield off his bag cargo, though, and we're actually going to be able to get to another one if they decide not to throw, but we throw right on alignment. I thought, like, man, I should just get it in. Ironhead's going to get the other shield, though, at least, and we're going to be able to put Shelly, my Gastrodon, on this thing and absorb this energy. The opponent blind Rock Tombs, and I kind of wish I'd come up with Steelix to absorb that, but it's all good either way. Even if this is an overheat, it's resisted. I'm not too worried about having to take this damage. Overheat's not going to do too much, and we can still get to an Earth Power against the Jellicent if we so choose, but I'm going to bank that energy and swap it into Steelix here because Steelix wanted that Jellicent from the beginning, and I'm going to darn well make sure he gets it. She gets it. Good game. Next game, we got Steelix on the lead versus Poliwrath. And yeah, this is pretty bad. Like, Corviknight takes a little while to get to the sky attacks. Gastrodon, I mean, it's all neutral damage and it chunks, but I would rather not have to swap out of this matchup because the Poliwrath has debuffing moves and hard-hitting charge moves that I'd rather not deal with. Opponent's going to Icy Wind because they shielded the first move. I assume that that's what they were going to do. However, the nice thing about Steelix here with Thunderfangs is that it does have better pacing into these Psychic Fangs and Breaking Swipe moves than the Poliwrath does. Opponent not willing to give up another shield. They're going to swap into a Shadow Palkia. And I'm respecting this Spice Lord, but they're going to shield everything. And so I'm fine with just blindly throwing an Ironhead here, because even if this hits, it's still going to do a decent chunk of damage from the super, super frail Shadow Palkia. Ironhead will get that shield, and I'm looking to see if I can't get to another charge move here in time before the opponent gets to throw theirs, but they do. They outpace us, so I knew I wasn't really going to have a realistic chance of getting there. Just kind of hoping maybe they'd let me. But we're going to go with the Gastrodon, and the opponent, of course, they have a Gyarados in the back. Because why wouldn't they have a Gyarados in the back? But this is what we have Steelix for. Those Thunderfangs are going to come in and rip this Gyarados a new one. I'm going to shield up here. Look to preserve the Steelix, as I think it's going to be useful. The opponent not going to be able to get to another charge move, and we can fire off the Breaking Swipe. I should have just thrown it right away. I had a very brief moment in this game where I forgot that Palkia was back there, and I didn't remember what their third was. It was Palkia, and we take that game. Good game. Now, full disclosure, for those of you who are still here, thank you for not just peeping the team and leaving, because you'll understand that this point forward is where my pain begins. This team went 5-5 in this video, and in today's video, I'm going to be looking more so to showcase that a team that maybe does well on PVPoke does not always perform as well, because truthfully, trainers, what happened here today, or I guess for you it's yesterday because I'm uploading this the night before, Gastrodon was the prime target on everybody's team. It just slithered and slugged around with a big target on its back saying, come get me. And unfortunately, yeah, so Gastrodon, we've changed the team around a little bit. We tried a version of this with Steelix, replaced by Scizor, which was actually kind of solid. Like the Gastrodon Corviknight core in this meta, generally speaking, very strong. However, unfortunately, just due to the sheer fact that Corviknight is an absolute fraud until they give it Air Cutter, which, mark my words, it's going to get it for that Calm Day. I probably shouldn't have shielded that. I was going to go for I think they were going to go for the Dark Pulse, and that's what made me want to shield that. Now, the opponent is going to have to try to withstand the damage from Shelly. We're going to let the Gastrodon take the Icy Wind here, and the opponent... I mean, I'm just going to full send this Earth Power, right? If I throw a Body Slam, I'm just going to feel silly, because they're not going to shield this. They're going to save a shield for whatever they have in the back, now that they know my full team. And because it's Golisopod, and Golisopod is going to kind of wreck my face, most likely. There is... Again, certainly, Golisopod, there are certainly things that if the Steelix does not find it with 2 shields intact, you probably are going to have a bad time. Now, the opponent brings in their Ferrothorn, and I'm going to look to get a full farm down with my Corviknight, but opponent's going to get to a charge move. They threw Power Whip at me earlier, so I wonder if they have Thunder, and they do. That would have probably been the move to shield, if I'm being honest. But... it's okay, because the opponent pretty much had 2 moves anyway, so even if we had not shielded that Thunder, 2 Aqua Jets from this range will knock out. Opponent gets to sweep us with their Golisopod, and I'm sad, but well played either way. Next game, we're going to have Steelix on the lead versus Quagsire. And yes, Steelix is now becoming a fraud as well. This is unfortunate because the plan that I had in mind for this team when I saw this situation was safe swap to Corviknight. It will be fine. Safe swap to Corviknight only works when the opponent is actually threatened by any of this damage, where Sand Attack Corviknight, it continues to be the fraudulent bird that it is. Aqua Tail is going to pretty much knock my socks right off. The Corviknight, not wearing any socks, however, is going to continue its battle, and is going to throw Iron Head into the Shadow Alolan Sandslash. And Shelly the Gastrodon is back there thinking, I might be able to handle this. So I'm going to swap in on the Gastrodon, look to let a move go, shield another, or potentially double shield here and just hope that the energy is going to be useful. I'm going to go ahead and shield up. It is an Ice Punch. I am not going to throw Body Slam here, but the opponent throwing on improper timing here, just not as efficient as it could be. It's a tell to me that they just got to that move and they're going to go ahead and throw whatever they have left. So now I'm going to go ahead and try and see if this energy is going to matter into the opponent's rest of their team. They send in the Quaggy Boy. I'm going to send off this Earth Power. We're nearly going to get this knockout. The opponent should be a little bit shy of the Aqua Tail. I believe if I was counting correctly, they're 1 away now at this point. So we're going to go for the Earth Power. That's going to knock the Greninja back into its Pokeball. Steelix going to get the snipe. Opponent's going to concede. Good game. Steelix meeting its maker. Golisopod is on the lead here in this next game. And Thunderfang is going to be fine here, but the opponent swaps into an Aurorus, and I safe swaps into a Shadow Aurorus. Trainers, I know that sometimes it works because the opponent may not happen to have the thing that you know, would get destroyed by, but never, and I mean never, unless there is a very good reason or the meta calls for it, safe switch a Pokemon to try and maintain switch advantage or anything else that has a double weakness like that. It gets shredded by fighting types, which there's Poliwrath. It does exist, I promise, I've seen them. And other things as well, right? So, but we have Corviknight now, the fraudulent bird, floating there menacingly. Aqua Jet's going to do a fair amount of damage here. The opponent is, I believe, on Shadow Claw, so I'm going to be taking some actual fast move pressure and trying to get this bait in. I mean, yeah, I could have decided not to bait there at all, but I want to see if I live this move. I probably don't, and I'm hoping I do. But we don't, unfortunately. We're going to go for Steelix here, and then we're going to be taking a move or shielding. I have to shield, man. I have to. Aqua Jet would do too much damage, and then the opponent has Credillion. It is at this point, trainers, that I realize that I'm completely and utterly boned. There is no way. There's no way I'm going to be able to make this happen. Opponent here going to be going for Grass Knot. And thankfully, right? I have no shields. There's no reason for them to go for anything else. I'm going to be going for the breaking swipe. I'm going to hope that maybe this debuff will be applied. Maybe, just maybe, I can survive the next charge move. But it's not to be. Unfortunately, I am not going to be able to get that debuff. And with it, my hopes of this game were already down the toilet. But now they've gone a little bit further. And are now making their way into the plumbing. Breaking swipe off of Steelix. Try to surprise them a little bit with this body slam. They are not going to shield. I'm going to let it go. Gillespie coming in. Can I get to another body slam? Do I even have a chance? Do I have a shot? Is there even a chance that I can make it? Unfortunately, the opponent going to get to a charge move here before I can even get to my body slam. And, yeah, that's pretty much it, because we have no HP left on the Steelix. And unfortunately, Gillespie takes us out again. And honestly, I think that might be one of the biggest weaknesses that this team has. So if you want, you can adjust this team. Absolutely. I think that there's many strong pieces to this team. I think that Steelix probably is the weak link here. Even though I thought it was going to be solid. It just turns out that we were not finding any of the things that I put it out there to do, which is disappointing, right? Because you see a team that's rated 4 A's on PVPoke, and you're like, man, it's got to be solid, right? And normally they are. I actually hit Legend for the first time with a team I crafted back in Season 7 in the Retro Cup that had that coverage. It was quite awesome. But unfortunately in this meta, everybody is gunning, excuse me, to just beat down Gastrodon in so many ways. There's even people running things like Ludicolo in this cup that, I mean, it's just a little bit crazy to me. But hey, they're just trying to hammer down those water types, which there are more than plenty of in this cup. So I can't really say I blame them, though. Surf? Yeah, unfortunate. Gonna go for this Earth Power, trying to see if I can't get the opponent to surrender their shield or let it go. Corviknight gonna come in now. Maybe Corviknight maybe has a chance here against this Credilli, looking to go for the Iron Head, but the opponent gets to their move first. Unfortunately, I was a little bit too late there. Rock Tomb, not made quite enough for the Credilli to be able to two-shot even as a shadow, which is nice. I wasn't sure if it was going to be enough, but I had a feeling it would be just enough, perhaps. We're going to be able to get to this Iron Head, though. But since I realize it's going to be a CMP tie, I'm just going to go ahead, just wait for the opponent to throw that Rock Tomb. See if I can bank some extra energy here. Do a little dance. Go for this Iron Head. See if we can't two-shot this. We can. Shelly looking to be what I need her to be, but the opponent gets the swap on the Mawile. I admit I should have seen it coming, but I was trying to time my moves properly. And this is why good move timing is key, because if you had thrown, or if I had thrown in the middle of that charge move, I actually might have had a chance. Now I'm going to try to make a catch on my Gastrodon, but it's not going to happen. And at this point, I kind of think, okay, if I can shield this and get another Mud Slap in, then I could be okay. But the opponent's got a second move ready to go. And now I need to be able to live the moves, these Bullet Seeds. But 1 HP on the Corviknight means that we're not going to be able to get it, and it's going to be a good game well played to the opponent. Next up, Magcargo. And we've swapped the lead to Gastrodon because I was tired of getting slapped around by things that beat Steelix, and so we were trying it now as an ABB double steel backline team just to see what we could do. However, the thing is now, Steelix is not that backline you want because you're totally ABA weak to grass. So, if you like this style of the team, we tried Scizor on stream after this. Shadow Scizor. We used Corviknight as a safe switch. You could probably safe switch the Scizor if you want to, as long as you're okay with possibly getting just absolutely massacred by fire types. But we're going to get farmed down here. I'm not going to be able to get to another charge move, but we can now put Gastrodon back on this, which is the entire point. And then they come in with a Corviknight. This ain't good, but they let me get to this Earth Power before they throw a charge move, so I can actually go ahead and swap in now my own Corviknight, which I would much rather take the energy on my Corviknight than on my Gastrodon, because it's all resisted as long as they're not running Payback. Opponent going for the Iron Head. They are not running Payback, or they would have thrown it here. There's no reason for them to bait in this scenario. I'm going to be going for the Sky Attack. I do believe it hits a little bit harder than Iron Head, and I would rather get some damage in, because by this point, I've identified that as soon as the opponent has let that charge move go, I just excuse me, need to save my shield for Gastrodon, and we can just simply mud slap down this team, especially now the opponent is deciding to just completely forego all of their shields. They don't need them. Rock Tomb, gonna be nearly taking out the Corviknight, but we hang on. I'm gonna bring in my Gastrodon, Shelly. Going to shield up this Sky Attack here. Going to be looking to just Mud Slap down. The opponent has 2 shields. I would rather Mud Slap down. I know I'm not going to get to 3 Body Slams before I can do that. So we're just going to commit to the fast move, farm down, shake down. Opponent is going to go ahead and surrender that game. Well played. All right. Trying to make it positive. We get a nice lead in Sand Slash. The opponent, however, is going to swap out into Kingdra. And I'm thinking, I'm going to go ahead and chip with a Body Slam. Okay, and then I'm going to bring in Steelix, because Steelix, even though it's taking super effective from the opponent's Octazooka doesn't do that much damage. It's meant to just flip that debuff. Now, Octazooka's going to come through, do a decent amount of damage. We do not get debuffed, which is very nice. I'm going to fire back with this Breaking Swipe, looking to try and take out the opponent's Kingdra, but they shield it. And I've got 2 shields, and I'm kind of thinking to myself, man, I could probably just save 2 shields and win this game, right? Well, I'm going to go ahead and shield. I think that I want to keep that switch advantage that I have. At the last moment, I do shield because I just decided that I'm like, I want to keep my Gastrodon on the Sand Slash. Corviknight does okay against it, but it's not going to be very good, generally speaking, unless there's shields up, which, I mean, I have shields. The opponent, kind of low on shields at the moment, but we're going to go ahead and put Gastrodon back on here just because at least that way they're going to be trying to throw drill runs and whatnot, hopefully. We're going to go ahead and take this move. It is an Ice Punch. And now the opponent's going to come in with their Jellicent. And the key moment for me in this game is not remembering how low the HP was. I was very focused on the Jellicent and the Earth Power that I was about to throw that I did not realize how low my Gastrodon had gotten. And it is because of this. Some of these, I get hard countered. This one, skill issue. I shield this move, I probably win the game. Because I could probably throw an Iron Head into the opponent's Sand Slash. However, I have overestimated the amount of HP left on my Gastrodon, and though I decide to save the shield for Gastrodon to be able to sweep, but it's not even going to be able to get to the Body Slam that I thought it might, and unfortunately, I'm going to let that game go. Probably could have won it, but it's all good. It would have been a very difficult one to win, so I'm going to go ahead and just bygones be bygones, right? Opponent staying in a very bad lead for them. Berserker has Trailblaze. I'm going to respect it. And they do throw it. And they let themselves stay in and get farmed down. And to this, I am absolutely fine with that. This energy is usually going to be useful. Until the opponent brings in Ludicolo. And Myra B now is being channeled into this channel. Steelix coming in as I have a dominant answer to it in Corviknight. And the opponent comes in with their Gastrodon, which, while unfortunate for my Steelix, Gastrodon is weak to both, or Corviknight's got good play into both Ludicolo and Gastrodon. I don't know where I was going. My brain just went like, whoop, by the way, your train of thought is gone. Derailed. Left the station permanently. Opponent going to get to a charge move. They do win CMP, unfortunately. My Gastrodon, not nearly a rank 1. It's missing a couple HP there, I believe. But also has no attack, so it's going to lose most CMPs. The opponent does decide, however, to put down a shield. And I'm going to go ahead and throw my Body Slam now and look to try and see if I could get rid of that Gastrodon. But the opponent brings in Ludicolo to catch the move. Very nice catch by the opponent. I'm going to go for this Iron Head. Whether they shield or not is of no importance to me, because if they shield, great. If they don't, I'm getting a farm down here. The resisted grass... or damage, the resisted damage by the grass typing of the Ludicolo. Scald going to do a bit of damage here, but I'm looking to just farm all the way down. Now, we do get an attack drop, but the Gastrodon is so low that a Sky Attack should be able to knock out from this range. I'm going to go for the Iron Head. The opponent is going to have to respect this, and I'm going to go ahead and get lucky and get that shield call correctly. Going to go ahead and try to also swap and catch a move. Opponent does throw energy, but not when I expected them to. They're going to go for a Body Slam here. And I need to get to this Sky Attack. We're barely able to make it. And we're going to take this game by just the skin of our teeth here. Good game to the opponent. Well played. Getting into the finale of the games here. Gastrodon into Lucario. Great lead, and I'm happy to see it here. The opponent, however, safe switching into a Jellicent. And I may have made a crucial error here. in not staying in to try and chip the Jellicent first. Maybe that was the right play. I don't know. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go for the Breaking Swipe, and I'm going to try and fish for that debuff. If I can get the attack drop, I'm going to experiment here and see if I can live the second Surf that comes through. But the opponent going to go ahead and overfarm a bit here, and that's going to open the door for me to try and go for another Breaking Swipe because I missed the debuff in the first place. Now we get it this time. Now I want to see how much damage the Surf does. It probably will still do over the half of what I have left, but they go for the Shadow Ball instead, which tells me they may have been on Ice Beam, because most of the time you would expect them to go for that Shadow Ball, or for the Surf to be able to get that super effective damage in. But Lucario is going to come back in. We're going to go for a Psychic Fangs here. The opponent is going to be able to farm us down and have a bunch of energy, but Gastrodon can come in, and the opponent has Gyarados. And I'm like, man, ain't no way. I love the Gyarados. It's a sick pick. Cores really well with that Lucario. Maybe I should try it, but I already know I'm down to shield. The opponent is, there's no way that they could mess this up. Like, they would have to lag out, and you know what? I'm not about to play that, so I'm just going to give it to them. They completely destroyed me with that Gyarados, and I only get to get a 2-3 out of the deal. But, again, early ranks, just trying to figure out some of these metas. I have not, like, Fossil Cup has always been weird. I hit Legend last time we had Fossil Cup in the Fossil Cup, but the meta was vastly different. I feel like it's a completely different meta now. It used to be like Registeel, Berserker, Jellicent, Ferrothorn, like those were common in the meta, but you didn't have things like Steelix, Corviknight, Gastrodon, or even some of these other picks that we're seeing now. But that's all good, man. We're just trying to learn this meta. It's a little bit new to all of us here. So anyway, let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you have any good teams for the Fossil Cup. I'd like to try them out. Till next time, trainers, thank you very much. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.